Ready or not, here we come. We are back with the Trying to Be Grown podcast after a long hiatus. Good to see you again, Byron. I am your host, Damani Carter, and the non-striped shirt is my esteemed co-host, Mr. Byron Keaton. What you been doing?
Actually, like a couple of weeks ago, I bought about 4 to 5 new striped shirts. Honestly,
I bet that sounds like you. I'm talking about what have you been doing, movement-wise? Where have you been? Where have you been at? How's work going? Those type of questions.
yeah, I've been working for one. That's a whole different ball game, man. I didn't know what work was like until you get to working. But um, I haven't been doing too much. Just kicking it, getting used to working life. What else? Went to A&M game. That was about a month or so ago back. Yeah, that's all. What about you? I know you've been having a great season so far. You've been getting some sacks and whatnot. How
Yeah, I
your
mean,
life been
not
going?
not as many as I wanted to, but football and school, doing the things I've been doing for the last 7-ish years. You know,
I
still living
agree.
this life after all this time.
I got a question. Does your body hurt after every game?
Oh,
Like once you
yeah,
start getting old, so
tremendously.
you don't be bouncing back like you used to.
No, I'm in the training room every day, and that's not even exaggerated. Like 6 days out the week, I'm in the training room in some capacity.
So what have you been in the training room for this past week?
My Achilles, hamstring. I got a little work done on my adductors. For those of you that are confused, it is the inside of the thigh, right, kind of to the inside of your hamstring. It's not bouncing back like it used to. The whole lower half is just begging me to stop. Is
So
what
you
it is.
keep so you just ignoring your body.
Nah, see, one of my teammates, shout out to you, Blake, always says it'll buff. It'll be all right. We'll make it through, one way or another.
Damani, didn't you get hurt last year not listening to your body?
Not really. Kind of, sort of, but I mean, not really. I just
Your
stretch
body would
more.
see. This ain't making sense, Damani.
Anyways,
But outside of football, outside of school, how has life been?
life cool. I watch Squid Game. Watch You. Pretty popular
Hey,
Netflix stuff. So
I just got started on you because I couldn't get into it like most TV shows, I couldn't get into like the first 1 or 2 episodes, and so like you just don't watch it. I decided, like I do with most shows, I end up loving like Ozark. I just skipped to episode 4, and over this whole entire past weekend, I'm already in season 2, and that show is amazing.
I figured you would like it because y'all have like similar
No, see, we're not gonna do
crazy
that.
tendencies.
No,
Not see.
no.
You gotta let me explain. You gotta let me explain, right? You gotta let me explain. See, just like the fervor with which he hold them grudges and that type of stuff. That's the similarity that I see. I'm not talking about like the stalking and all that
Demani,
that
that
stuff.
is you. You hold a grudge more than
I don't,
anybody I know.
I don't know, bro. See. Here's the thing. I don't really
Demani,
hold.
my name in your phone is Byron Keaton or whatever.
No, it's time.
Unlocked
Say what
door.
it is. Say what it is, because it's
I
your
really
eighth
don't
grade
remember
rap
what it is.
name. It's your eighth grade rap name. Go ahead and tell everybody what it is.
Tommy K, unlocked door.
Yeah,
How long
because it's
ago? How
funny.
long ago? How long ago did that happen to Money?
I literally had to look. This is what I'm saying. I literally had to put it in my phone so that I would not forget because I know how I am. I can't just stay perpetually. The next time you ask me for something, I was just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. See, I was trying to make sure
See,
I was trying to make sure that I stayed fixated on it because I don't have it in my nature to stay fixated on it.
now think
You, on the
about
other
this,
hand, you
Damani.
very much do. You
You
very much do.
intentionally wanted to hold a grudge, like go above and beyond holding
Because
this
I'm not good at
grudge.
holding grudges. That's kind of my point.
Nope,
That's kind of my point.
nope, Demonis. You're more like Joe than anybody I know.
Okay, we'll see if that makes you feel better. See, I think that you for in one instance you're kind of making my point here because just this whole flipping the entirety of the conversation and saying no, you're the person that does that's kind of a Joeish thing because
No,
it can't be just you're wrong. You have to go the exact opposite and go there 1,000 miles an hour because that's just you. And that's
But
okay, but you got to be able
Damani,
to
in this
like
situation, it's the
recognize
truth.
that.
In this
Okay.
situation, it's the truth.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'll ease back on the statement.
And we off topic, man.
Yeah, we're way off topic, and I forgot. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're rocking with us, we appreciate you, and especially if you're watching this one, because that means you ain't see us for a while and you came back. But the NBA 75, the 75th anniversary of the NBA of the first NBA season is this season, and like they did at 50 years, the NBA has come out with the 75 best players over the course of these 75 years, and it actually ended up being 76 due to a tie. I know you have some strong thoughts on the matter, so I'll just go ahead and let you begin.
I'm going to keep it a buck to start off with. If I played in the 1950s or if I played in the 1960s, I would be on that top 75 list.
Okay. Why do you always have to start with you? Why do you always have to start with you?
Now let me elaborate on that. Some of the people that they put on that list is a disservice to the NBA basketball that we see today. For example, if I put somebody like DeMar DeRozan, average player, slightly above average player in today's day, but nobody would say he's a top three. He's an MVP candidate. If you put DeMar DeRozan in 1954 NBA, this man would be Wilt times 3. He'll be looking like Wilt Chamberlain out there, putting up 80 points a game. And that's my problem with the list. I have so many people. I'm not saying they weren't good back then, but if you compare them, like the skill, things like that. For example, I can't remember who it was. They said one guy made the list because he knew how to do a jump shot. A jump shot, Damani. Every single player in the NBA can do a jump shot. Dwight Howard can do a jump shot. It might not go in all the time, but he can do a jump shot. He made the list because he knew how to do a jump shot. This don't make sense, bro. And that's where I'm drawing the line at. Why this whole entire list was messed up, because they kept every single person that made the top 50 in 1996 or however, 1996, automatically made the top 75.
It wasn't
And that's where
automatic. It was everybody that made it in 96 made it
again.
in 20. Yeah, but it wasn't automatic.
Yeah. It wasn't automatic, but they put everybody on that list again, which I completely disagree with. Dwight Howard may have been similar to Wilt Chamberlain in the 1950s and 60s, and some of them people made the list. And that's my biggest problem.
Okay. Well, see, I'm not ready to go all the way there with you, and this is the reason. My father actually brought up an interesting point. He asked me, so why do we still celebrate Jesse Owens? Because if we lined up Jesse Owens in a 100 against the top 8 sprinters in the world today, he'd be in last, right?
No, wait. Hey, Damani, I've actually done research on this because I thought the same exact thing. They said, so okay, for one thing, Jesse Owens didn't run off blocks back then. His was just like, when we were racing first grade, that's how he was running. Mm-hmm. So if you put him off blocks, that's going to make him a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. Also, they didn't have the same technology and shoes that we use, and they did not have the same type of track in which it gives more to like help you propel forward and whatnot. So actually, they say if you factor in all of that same stuff, he would be near Usain Bolt's speed, is what I've read.
I have a lot of trouble believing that for a bunch of reasons. And one of them is if you just look at the evolution of sprinters over the course of, just say, the last 50 years, the 100-meter times have gotten better over the course of like each successive decade. And we know that Ben Johnson and Carl Lewis have their big 100-meter back and forth that goes for, from the 84 Olympics to 88 Olympics. And they were running those times on steroids, dog. Like they were running those times with a whole bunch of stuff in their system. So in 1936, Jesse Owens was running on probably, I don't even know if they had senders at this point, but he was running on a less than ample track with less than, the technology and shoes that we have today. But I have trouble believing that that is going to shave, say, point, it'd have to be like 0.6, 0.7
No,
seconds off his 100
no.
time.
But also, you got to think about
What did
this.
he
Other
run? Did
than
he
you,
run 10-2 or 10? Well, see, I got this. Why I got the computer. Hold on. Go ahead. Keep talking.
but the thing about it is, if okay, I understand the numbers have gone down, but other than Usain Bolt, people not running at that crazy clip that he was running at, and we're not going to see that for a long period of time.
Can I
Like
finish?
you,
Go ahead.
go ahead, make your point.
No, I'll let you finish, and then I'll finish making my point. I gotta see what
Like
Jesse Owens
Bolt,
time.
like Bolt, it's no one near him during those races. And if you look at so, if you take Bolt out of those races, you still have the same time as the people on steroids and whatnot. It's not that big of a difference, is what I'm saying.
Bolt beat the people on steroids. That's my point.
Yeah, because that's just a freak of nature. You can see one of those every once a generation.
But even Tyson Gay would have been successful in those races. Like I don't know if he would have beat Carl Lewis, but I know he ran sub 10, and that's not. I think he ran sub 9.9. But Jesse Owens ran 10.3. So in the 100-meter parameters, it's just tough for me to imagine all of that stuff taking 0.6 off his time. That's one. But the reason that we praise Jesse Owens today, even though his time wouldn't hold up even in the best college meets of today, is because of how he dominated his era. George Mikan dominated his era. Kuzi dominated his era. They did. It's the truth. It's really the truth. So every successive, I agree that there are certain people that shouldn't have made the list. We talked about, I said I'm talking about me and my dad. We talked about Bill Walton. The case for him is a lot like the one for Grant Hill, even though his peak is probably a little bit more dominant. He just didn't have.
Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish he played a whole bunch of years, and that's one I thought about too. But he played a
Nope,
long time. He played a
he
long
shouldn't
time,
have been
so
on the
he
list.
racked up a lot of accolades. I agree with you. In comparison to Dwight Howard, um, Grant Hill, even some of the people that didn't make the list, I'm saying okay, him over Robert Parrish. But Nate Thurman, Dave Cowens, Dave DeBuscher, these are people that really, I'll admit, I haven't watched all these people play, but I just know that the criteria that one of that TikTok account that I hate, he asked the question, what's dude at?
I don't
Yeah,
remember his
like
name, but from that
yeah,
the
that
old black
this
dude.
this podcast ain't huge, bro. He ain't gonna see it, but he said, "Can we tell the story of the NBA without this person in it?" I was like, yeah, a bunch of these people, and I think you throw Kyrie in there. Um, who else didn't make it?
Okay, did Kyrie deserve to make it?
I don't know. That's kind of the accolade wise. No, not really. But he's kind of like just a super. Like he's got so much star power, and he's so good. Is the thing. It's just the accolades don't have it, but the skill set is there, and the star power is there for sure. He's just crazy, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Okay, now I have a question. What do you mean by star power?
I'm saying that Kyrie does things on the court with a basketball that very few people in NBA history have been able to do. And I think his particular package is very unique to him. Very, very unique to him. Because we can compare him to people in terms of the handle of other greats that have been able to handle the ball, the ability to create shots, like other greats who have had a great ability to create shots. But his particular, like his bag is very, very unique to him. And I think
Now,
that's
now my
him,
next
James
question
Harden.
is,
Go ahead.
where do you even rank Kyrie in point guards today? in today's NBA.
In today's NBA?
Because I don't have him over Dame.
I'm okay with that. But I mean, he got to be top. I'm trying to think of somebody that can knock him out of the top two.
It's Dame and Steph.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about stuff. So top three, yeah, I'd say without there's no great debate that would take him out of the top three in my opinion, unless you want to make Brown a point guard.
And then my next question is, if Bron doesn't come back to Cleveland, is he Kemba Walker?
No,
I think so.
I don't.
I think he's just going to be putting up empty stats.
I don't, because look at Kemba Walker has shown that with people on his team, though he is an integral piece, his star power kind of dwindles when he's got a Jason Tatum and a Jaylen Brown on the court with him. Kyrie didn't do that even with LeBron out there.
But he was coming off injury when that happened. When he got to Boston, he was battling injury the whole entire time. He missed like the first. Yeah, he missed like the first month and a half once he got to Boston, if I remember right. And then
he was in Boston for 2 years though.
He wasn't ever healthy.
So the entirety of the 2 years that he was in Boston, you're saying he had no healthy stretches.
He would get close, but he was never 100%.
I don't know about all that.
I just don't know, because if you look at
compare the statistics then.
If you look at Kyrie before LeBron got there, putting up empty stats on a lottery team.
He had what, 2 years of his NBA career before Brian got there?
Hey, Damani, I'm not going to argue with you on that, because you have the rest of his entire. Okay, then look. After he leaves LeBron and goes to the Celtics, what happens, Damani? What happens?
I don't see what you're trying to get at. What are you talking about? Are you saying his stats get empty?
He's a upper middle of the pack team with the Celtics, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown playing amazing. Terry Rozier, that team's loaded. Gordon Hayward, whatnot, blah. That team's loaded. He gets hurt.
Those players were not. Wait. Go ahead.
Kyrie gets hurt. The Celtics take their game to a whole nother level. They're playing amazing basketball and whatnot. Kyrie comes back the next year, same team, same core, and what happens, Monty? Bounce in the first round. Kyrie then makes his move to the Nets. No KD. It's just Kyrie and the Nets team, who had just made it to the playoffs the previous year, excluding D'Angelo Russell and Jared Dudley, but I'm assuming he would be an upgrade over D'Angelo Russell. Jared Dudley, just a little hype man and whatnot. And what does he do? What does he do, Damani? He folds.
I don't know what makes you hate Kyrie Irving that much, but every descriptor that you just used, it was like the worst possible way that you could think about it. They don't get hard until what, like game 15, and he shows up at like my weight. So that's one.
Hey, Damani, I'm not talking about that year. I'm talking about the year before that, when KD was out the whole year, and it's just Kyrie and the Nets.
So what?
They were a playoff team before he got there, and then what happened?
They were a very, very low tier playoff team. Yes or no?
Were they a playoff team?
They were a very, very low tier playoff team.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
That's fine. But
in an Eastern Conference that was really ascending at that time, but you're talking about an 8 seed, an 8 seed, 8 or 7. I don't remember.
A 7 or 8 seed replacing D'Angelo Russell for Kyrie Irving.
And this is kind of what I'm talking
That's
about.
That's what I'm
saying. In terms of saying it in the worst way possible. But you're looking at a team that just really did not have it figured out, and you're looking at his first year with the team. How did Bron do his first year with the Lakers?
LeBron had a good year before he got hurt. Remember, he popped his groin.
He had an okay year, is kind of my point. And Kyrie had an okay year.
Yeah, he was averaging like 25. Actually, I think he was averaging 27 that year.
Bron was? Okay, well, tell me what Kyrie averaged, since you got it off the top of your head.
Don't know. I just know he was underperforming and not pushing his team to the next level.
You believe he was underperforming, but that's because you're a hater. But going back to this.
And he had cancer in the locker room.
Yeah, I'm not. I won't even deny that. But so is Dwight Howard. So what?
How's Dwight Howard a cancer in the locker room?
There's a bunch of stuff out there about him being a bad teammate. I'm
In recent
personally, I don't
years.
have anything.
In recent years.
Come on, man.
Growth.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, he just got into an altercation with Anthony Davis the other day, so I don't want to hear that. You don't know which party was at fault, but in terms of growth, that being that he has the reputation and he's still getting into stuff like that, how much growth you see
Dwight
there?
didn't, but Dwight didn't do anything. AD did something.
Oh, you were on the bench?
I
You
saw
were
the
on the bench?
video. I saw the video.
You saw the same video that everybody else did. You don't know nothing.
It sounded like I can give you my little
Stank
reiteration
Vogel?
of it.
No, you don't know. You have no idea what happened on that bench. All you saw
Also,
was Anthony Davis pushing Dwight Howard, and that's it.
yeah. Did Dwight push him back? No, because he's smart and didn't want to get traded. That is growth.
Next, all right. Who are your biggest snubs from the list?
Klay Thompson should have been on there for sure. You're gonna throw
Okay,
Reggie Miller in there. You gotta throw in there Klay Thompson.
agree there.
Who else?
But just a quick question off that: does Clay have the resume?
Yes.
Is it? I don't know.
How many All NBAs you got, and how many All Defensive teams you got?
1-1. I thought the same thing. I had to look it up.
I ain't rolling. But also, you gotta look at what he's
He
done
might
in the
have 2
playoffs.
All NBAs, but I know he only has 1, and it's not even first team; it's second team.
Then you also have to look at the his playoff performances
Mm-hmm.
on winning teams.
He got 3 championships. But the resume is just like it's borderline. It's borderline. I think he's similar in terms of just you kind of have to be there to understand why Klay Thompson is
Now who else? There was
who
a
he
couple
is.
more people. Dwight, it was somebody. I can't remember. They had Melo on there.
Mm-hmm.
KD was on there. How do you feel about Giannis being on there so young and early?
I think that's kind of projecting, but it's kind of the same thing they did with Anthony Davis. Neither one of them have the resume yet to be there, but we kind of figure
Anthony
they will.
Dwight deserved over AD based on
Without a
if we're
doubt.
looking at resume.
Without a doubt.
And I don't know about them throwing Dennis Rodman on there either.
I think, and here this is one of my snubs. I think if Dennis Rodman is on there, Ben Wallace has to be on there.
Okay, I can see that.
And the other 4-time defensive player of the year, Mutombo, need to be on there too. If you're
Okay,
going to throw Rodman on there, you got to throw both of them on there.
if we throwing in Ben Wallace and Mutombo, and we throwing in Giannis based on his projection, then we got to throw in Rudy Gobert.
God no.
How many? Don't he
That's,
have? Don't he have like 2 or 3 DPOYs in a row?
I think
Or
he got.
I think he
He
has
might
3
have.
now.
He might have 3. I just don't like Rudy Gobert. That could just be my personal preference, but
Because if we throw in Mutombo, we got to throw in Gobert, man.
I don't want to.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Can you tell the NBA story without Rudy Gobert?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Then also should Paul George be on there?
Mm,
Because if you throw Paul George in the 1970s, he gonna look like prime Jordan.
yeah, but I mean it's his era though. I think era has to have something to do with it.
No,
Because if we just put, because there's people in the 70s, I don't think Bill Walton would have success even at his peak. If we put him out there now, Wilt was
we put him in that pick and roll. He's out there fighting for his life.
yeah, I know. He couldn't even. That's kind of my point, is to say that you kind of have to go by era when you look at stuff. I agree that if we can minimize the people that were in the 50s and 60s. I don't know about 6, but I'm just saying like
6. That's all I'm giving.
nah, man. I think you give the best of the era their due, but the middle of the pack people like Dave
I'm talking
Cowens
about.
really didn't do
Hey, where
much.
was Bernard King, man?
Bernard King should have been on there. I think Bernard King should have been on there.
You ain't even watched Bernard King play, bro.
I actually watched a documentary on Bernard King because he went to school. I I want to say he went to Tennessee, but it's been forever since I watched that documentary in high school. But mine, like I said, Mutombo, Ben Wallace, Dwight Howard. You can tell that I played the five when I was little because all of mine are centers. Yeah, all of mine are centers.
With one being an undersized center.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I wish I had it back then to say that they're going against my team, but I can still like them. Love Ben Wallace's game, but I couldn't like him back in the day. They beat the Lakers, so
grow up, man.
I'm sorry. Like I said, cool now, but couldn't do it back then.
So, okay, should they continue this NBA, I guess, 100 next? Should they keep doing this? And
Oh, they're
are
gonna have
we
to.
are we going to keep everyone in the top 76 in this top 100?
I would, if I was a betting man, I would guess that yes, that's what we're going to do.
Come on, man.
Hey, can we talk about the Wilt Chamberlain story that Kareem told though?
Hey,
That's the
that's a wild
funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. If y'all haven't heard it, go look at the video. But basically, Kareem said that they was in the elevator and the dude got on, looked up at both of them, and said, "What's the weather like up there?" Wilt Chamberlain spat on the dude, said it's raining, and that's the wildest story I've heard about Wilt Chamberlain. There's some wild ones out there, but
Yeah. And that story been out there for a while.
well, we'll probably be talking about NBA stuff all year, so I'll go ahead and leave that there. Transitioning on to some different stuff. Let's talk. Let's get into some messy stuff. Let's talk about a little bit of messier subject.
Here we go.
So you hear every once in a while people talking about their old things, their old booze, whatever. Oh, he or she downgraded. I'm not worried about that. Why does it matter? Or excuse me, Byron, does it matter? Does it matter if your ex finds somebody better than you? And how do we define better?
That's okay. That was my first question. What does it mean to downgrade or upgrade?
I'm thinking it's mainly just like appearance, because that's generally what I hear and what I see. People just talking about, oh no, she's not as pretty as me, or he not.
Actually,
I really
wait, wait,
don't
wait,
hear
wait,
much
wait, wait,
female.
wait,
It's
wait.
mainly
Wait. I think this is more nuanced than we're trying to make it. Are downgrading and upgrading for men and women the same?
Ooh. Speak on it, brother Keaton. I feel like you might be on to something there. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm asking
Nah, you
because
do know, and I know what you do. Go ahead.
if you ask a guy whether they downgrade or upgraded, I'm assuming they're going to base it mostly on looks.
Okay.
Maybe, depending on the guy, but still there's some there's some flexibility in that. But I guess the overarching consensus would be about looks. Is that right?
That'd be my guess, yeah.
Now, women, I have no idea. Is it about looks or is it about something else?
And see, here's the thing. If we're talking about like who discusses it that way, if we're talking about like how women, of course, we're assuming a heterosexual cisgender relationship.
To their
Women
friends. To their
talking
friends.
about like other women and
Mm-hmm.
saying, did he downgrade or did he upgrade? Usually, based on what I've heard, usually in my experience, it's been looks.
Okay.
But I've never I don't know. I've never thought about it, and it could just be
I
because
haven't either.
I don't have exes like that. But I don't have a conception as to what would a downgrade look like for my hypothetical ex. I don't know, but I know it exists though. I know it exists
Okay,
for sure.
question. Okay, another question. If they upgrade, do you know can you tell if it's an upgrade? Being the X.
I think objectively there's ways to see it.
So are
Cause
you gonna say
that
another guy look better than you?
No, listen. Just hear me out. This is what I'm saying. So say like said person is because this is the way I would think about it as a dude. Say like you get left and 6 months later she on a yacht in Miami sipping Dom Perignon and like dude is right there with her with some shades, the Miami Vice jacket on, and he cooling. So is that would you think about that as dang, she upgraded me. She went ahead and found a 6-figure dude. I'm wondering. I'm asking the question. I don't know if I would or not because I ain't never been in the situation.
Um, would that be an upgrade? It depends. I still think it depends because some people they can afford the same type of things, but they just don't want to.
Yeah, but I'm saying hypothetically, you're not in a
So
position
you
to
saying
to
so
do
you
all
saying if
that
they
stuff.
have more so you saying if they have more money and for example,
Money,
y'all break up
status, stuff like that. Yeah,
she get a first round first pick as her new boyfriend. Is that an upgrade?
I mean, that's definitely an upgrade.
That's an upgrade over you? Just because he drafted?
I mean, just in terms of like that's the only objective measure we have of comparing ourselves. And yeah,
So you're saying he got drafted, you didn't. It's an upgrade.
yeah, without a doubt.
So that's where you draw the line.
That's no. I'm not saying that's where I draw the line. I'm just saying like defining upgrade.
That
If you
is an
go
upgrade.
from yeah,
Okay.
that's got to be an upgrade. Just in that specific category, but I mean, we can't like define the whole personhood. I don't think the people that say he or she upgraded or downgraded are trying to define the whole personhood. They're just saying he or she is better in this category or set of categories to make this an upgrade.
Now, okay, I got another question for you. If your homeboy and his girl they break up, she end up with a new dude. In your mind, you believe she upgraded. Are you going to tell him that if he asks you?
I mean, I feel like I'm a subtly be like, I gotta I gotta just go ahead and slip it in there. If I put it to you this way, if I feel like there is no way he gonna get that girl back and he gonna try, I feel like it's my responsibility as a friend to be like, hey man, just go ahead and start shooting for some other stars, man. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get you off that one. Because if I can see it, if I can see like on the gram or whatever that she living her best life, and I've seen her unhappily watching dude, eat pizza for 3 months or whatever, I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, you need to just go ahead and see that ain't coming back.
Mm.
But that's that. I feel like that's a friendship situation. If it's just like me saying dude is in a better position than him, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Just because you don't know if it's an upgrade or a downgrade.
So, do you care if your girl upgrades you?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because
Okay,
I think like
what if it's within a month after y'all break up?
depends how well I'm doing. If that's the case, because if I'm going through it, I'm not going to look up and see her having the time of my life. That's just the truth of it. That's just the truth of it. But
And you don't want what's best for her?
I mean, I do. That's what I was gonna say next. At the end of the day, I feel like if you chose at one point, whatever the reason may be, to share your life with this person, then you should want the best for them and hope that they find, somebody that makes them happy or whatever.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, I'm trying to think. I had exes from high school. One of them married. I mean, I hope she's as happy as can be, and I hope all my other exes are happy. But I just don't know. I
Can
feel
I
like
ask it? Can
the
I ask it?
recency,
Can
huh?
I ask it? Can I ask it?
Ask what? I'm not gonna
Did
say
she
a
up?
name on here.
Did she upgrade?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What you mean? You know.
I really don't. I swear. Like I know that they got married because well we don't follow each other on that no more. I don't think. But one of her bridesmaids was a mutual friend with me, and she like posted, and I was like, oh, that's great. She getting married.
You done thought about it. You've thought about it. But yeah, I don't think I
No,
could.
when I was like 16.
I don't know, man. I
No,
don't know.
no, that's not one I've thought about. But I think like if it was something more recent, like I know we have friends that like their exes from like 3 years ago got engaged and got married, and I know that's got to be like a weird experience. I haven't had that, but just from
We
what little
starting to hit that
experience I do
age.
have.
We
Yeah.
starting to hit that age.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that
So
was a
why
good one.
this is my question. Why does it matter to begin with? Do you think that there's like some deep seated thing that says like in this relationship, I was the better. I helped you more than you helped me. So therefore, when you get out of it, I don't want you to be as successful as I am. And I don't get it. I don't feel I ain't been like I said, I ain't been in the situation, but I don't get it.
So I think it's multifaceted, and I want to break this up in two
Okay,
parts.
lawyerly words.
First, I got this from How I Met Your Mother. Typically in a relationship, Marshall said there's a reacher and there's a settler. No one wants to be the reacher, I guess is what it is. Nobody wants to say that they got, oh, actually, no one wants to be the settler is what it is. No one wants to be that's the person that they just happen to pick up just because. People want to feel like they got something above and beyond what they actually can achieve. So if you leave, if the other person leaves and they get someone better, actually this ain't making sense. It's not making sense.
I don't
These
know why
actually
I asked you this, bro.
they contradict each other. Never mind. But yeah, so there's two views to this then. There's a reacher and a settler view, and then there's a I want to win the relationship view. Win the breakup. So if you win the breakup, that means you can't have that person getting somebody that's upgraded. That's how you feel like you won the relationship. If they downgrade, typically people feel like, okay, I was the best she can do, or I was the best he can do. And so they feel a little bit better about that.
Somehow you made that coherent. Like you did the first part, I didn't know where you was
Yeah,
going with it,
I
but
kind
you
of
made it
I
coherent at
lost
the end.
myself
I
in
feel
there.
like
They end up contradicting each other. So
yeah, I
yeah,
feel like there's a definite I want to win. I hope my former significant other doesn't win. I feel like
yeah.
that's the thing, man. It's crazy. It's really crazy, but it's the life we live. It's the world we live in. Just thinking about it, I hope that all of my exes are doing great. Most of them, from when I was 17 and younger, but hope you guys are doing wonderfully.
You made that so weird, man.
I don't know. Ain't none of them gonna watch this anyway. But you had a realization that you wanted us to get to.
Yeah, since we were talking about winning, I had to learn in life that sometimes life will humble you, and it'll humble you quick and unexpectedly.
Byron, don't
I'm,
say it. Like, see, you. This
what?
fool lost in fantasy football, and that's what he said all that to say. That's what he said all that to say.
No, no. I want to talk about why you have to be humble.
Now, you talking about life bringing you to your knees as if you like actually went through something. No, you lost in fantasy football. That's what we need to go ahead and say that off rip, so people not over here trying to put you
We're,
on prayer lists.
we're gonna get to that, but sometimes if you remain humble and things like that, I think that's when you are at your best. I started my fantasy football team off 2-0, averaging like 50, winning by 50 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
I have not won a game since I put something in the group chat saying how good my team was. And I think I just have to say something publicly just to like reverse my karma. Because every single week since I sent that in the group chat, every single week, something has happened. It started off with Chris McCaffrey getting hurt, putting up 6 points during the middle of a game, end up losing by like 3. Next week, Chris McCaffrey doesn't play and put Daniel Jones in at quarterback. Guess what happened? Concussion. My fantasy football team has been through it. Every single position except my defense has had something happen from my quarterback to my receivers, running back, tight end. My kicker got released last week on a Wednesday. Like, you can't make this stuff up, bro. And that's why I'm just saying, don't brag about you being up. Oh, I did this, I did that. Don't say nothing about it. Wait till you hit the end goal, because you can be at the top of the mountain and then be at the bottom of the valley by the end of it, man. It was just my little monologue I had to say about being humble.
So your little act of realization was brought on by fantasy football, and not only that, you really only just wanted to say it on the show so that your chakras could get realigned and you could find some better luck going forward.
No, I
So
wanted to
that's
share my life lessons. I want to
no,
share my
you
life
didn't.
lesson with everybody.
No, you didn't. That's about the most backwards thing you could have done. But do you consider yourself a humble individual?
Yeah.
No, no, nope.
What you mean? I would say so.
No,
I would say so.
no. Because
I would say so.
talking to you, we have found out that you're an exceptional actor, to which you're the only one that holds that opinion. A serviceable rapper, and you think that you are even somewhat good, and that's still mind-boggling to me. Trying to think. Your
So
athleticism is constantly being
wait, so
overestimated by
so
you. There's
so
a whole bunch of
confidence.
stuff. No, it's
So
not
confidence
confidence. It's
and
not
high
confidence.
self esteem
It's not
can't
confidence.
coincide with being humble.
It's not confidence. High self-esteem is saying, I'm
I can do anything I put my
beautiful, or
mind to.
no, nope, nope, nope. See, that's if you talking about stuff like task accomplishment, then that's the type of stuff when you're talking about anything I put my mind to. If you wanted to build a house and you put your mind to it and you said I could do it, that'd be something different. The moment that you said I could rap, everything in you should have said you're wrong and don't say that out loud. But it didn't. And you said it out loud. So that's because of your lack of humility.
I disagree. That can't be my opinion that I actually think I'm a good rapper.
That's not a good opinion to have. It's not a good opinion to have.
How can you have a bad opinion?
There are several people that have bad opinions.
Who?
Just there. What you want me to name people with bad opinions?
Yeah, sure. Give me two.
Okay. Aaron Chase Hayden believes that he is not wholly argumentative. I don't know how he would describe it, but if he thinks that he is anything less than the most argumentative person on the face of the earth, that's a bad opinion because it's just not.
Would that be a bad opinion for you to have?
What'd you say?
I believe you're just as argumentative as Chase.
I don't think that's true because I don't seek out as many arguments as Chase does. And I don't think there's anybody living and breathing on earth that seeks out as many arguments as Chase does. So that's
I don't know.
one.
Prime Damani, when you were at your peak
I wasn't
of
seeking them
arguing,
out. You have to think about how many people were seeking me out to argue with me,
Damani from
specifically for
2016,
the purpose of doing it.
Damani from 2016 to 2018, you probably got in over 300 arguments easily.
I'm not gonna comment on the number because I'd have to think about it. But this is the thing that you need to understand. I was not the one starting them. Are there arguments that I participated in that I should not have participated in? You are 100% right. Yes. But my problem was that I didn't know how to turn one down. Not that I was starting a bunch of them. Not to say that I've never started one, but I'm saying that most of the vast majority of the arguments that I've been engaged in, I have been brought into by an external source.
Damani, you were arguing on average probably 4 to 5 hours a day.
That's not even.
You would argue in the locker room. You would argue at the Jones Center. Then you would some kind of way still have enough energy to come home and argue about something.
Do you realize what 4 or 5 hours a day of arguing on average? Do you realize what that just what that entails? Just what you're suggesting there.
Some days you were arguing around 12 hours a day. Some days you would argue 0. No, you would still get you an hour of arguing in with somebody.
You see what I'm talking about in terms of these neurotic tendencies that you have? It just doesn't. That doesn't make sense from a timetable standpoint. When you look at the course of my days, you gotta take it to the most extreme level for your point to have any kind of say, and it just doesn't. It doesn't.
Damani, I've never seen anything like prime Damani Carter arguing. It blew my mind.
Byron, which one of us came home and decided that no matter what happened, you were going to find out what happened to the door? You did. Matter of fact, since we was talking about grudges, I had forgotten about this. You remembered and asked for 2 consecutive years who ate a Totino's party pizza that you bought.
I know who ate it.
For 2 years. For 2 years, you did not forget that somebody had ate your pizza, and you continually asked, trying to find out who did it.
Because that person didn't have to lie.
Come on, bro.
All they had to do was tell the truth. I knew what happened to the pizza. At that point, It was just about principle.
Now, see, now you're really making my point for me. Because you're telling me that you knew who did it, and you continued to press the issue for 2 calendar years. Because we moved houses twice, and you were still talking about it. In the last house that we lived in Fayetteville, Arkansas, you pressed us about a pizza. And those pizzas not even $2.
It's the principle.
Okay.
Right. You also have to think about how much gas it takes to go to the store to get one and come back.
You're sick. You're sick. There's something wrong with you. There's something really, really wrong with you. And see, I'm glad that you brought up me, because if it wasn't for this particular conversation, that wouldn't have clicked in my head. No, you're the grudge master. You don't have no grounds to talk to me about any kind of grudges. 2 years over a party pizza.
If it's such small and insignificant, why does the person have to lie? You see what I'm saying? If it's just $2.
Oh, I don't see what you're saying. No. What about me said, oh, I'm agreeing with that? No.
If it's such a small thing, why the person keep lying about it?
I don't.
For years.
It doesn't matter is the thing. That's kind of my point. It doesn't matter.
Wait, the person went in there. They knew it wasn't their pizza. They were like, you know what? I'm hungry. They ate the pizza. They thought that nobody would find out. But you know me, I know how many pizzas I have. I know how many pizzas I have because I kind of, okay, I get 1. Okay, I got 3 left. I got 2 left. Okay, I'm at 2. I need to go to the store tomorrow and get me 4 more. So I know where I'm at. And then I go in there, no pizzas. So now I'm hungry. What am I supposed to do?
Not hold a grudge for 2 years, Byron. That's not healthy.
No, man. Pizzas can't be. No. Wasn't no party that day.
We didn't really get to much on humility, but I think that's a good note to end the show. We appreciate you rocking with us wherever you rocking with us. Man, been too long. Hopefully we start getting these in circulation a little bit more often. Byron, you got something to say to close us out?
Appreciate y'all and our boy. Actually, it's KT's birthday today, so
happy birthday! It's not gonna be his birthday when we drop it.
That's true. That's true. But happy birthday, Show Thief. He gonna be playing us out. We appreciate y'all.
Happy belated, my boy. Peace out. You gon' pass it, you gon' shoot, I stood tall. When you make it through the struggle and the pain, do you get your umbrella off the chance that it might rain? I stood tall. Ooh, I stood tall. Ooh, I stood tall. Ooh, you could try to count me out, but you ain't gon' ever hold me down. When I see my people going through it, I put the blame on me. And I see my homie lose his mind, but I gave him his first taste of lean. I ain't gon' lie, that really hurt me, but I had to close the curtains. And one thing I learned on Lion King is everybody gotta eat.
remember telling Polly, let me get a whole piece. Said, nah, little homie, can't get that from me. You play football, you got a bright future, you supposed to see you on the TV. And I said, that's true, and I'm gonna do it, but I really gotta make something happen. And I probably could've asked my family for something, but instead I started hitting licks with daddy. Ain't gonna lie, that turned me to a savage. Really living life like a bandit. And then Murph told me, keep your head on, man, don't do nothing reckless. But now I'm older now, I'm a grown man. Go to church every Sunday, I'm a praying man. You ain't gonna never see me fall, I'm always standing. One thing I do is stick to the plan. When you make it through